everybody. This is Brent with PDS Radon Supply. I've been meaning to do this video for a while, so it might not be as smooth as our other videos. I just want to get it up so people can see common alarm scenarios for the KTA 2.0 alarm. So, big thing, I've got a blog post about radon alarms that I'm going to link to in this video, but there's a lot of debate on the topic of whether or not they're a good idea. And I think they really are, because I get phone calls every single day where people lived in a house for 20 years and they're radon tested high, and they're incredulous because they think that they had a radon system installed, but they didn't do any sort of post-testing for the last 20 years. So their radon fan has probably been dead for 15 years, and yet they're still living in this house thinking they're safe. That is the impetus for radon alarms, it's a fan failure notification. When something's wrong with your radon system, you should take a look at it. For the last 30 years, there's been no such requirement aside from a YouTube, which most homeowners don't know how to use. So here we're going to talk about the KTA 2.0 alarm, which is the one that we developed. We think it's one of the best on the market. We developed it with that intention in mind of keeping you safe, as well as the intention of not annoying you and having you disable the system. So first things first, we want to talk about the maximum suction bypass. So this is our lab, it's our conference table. This is actually the system that keeps my employees safe, because we have 6 picocuries per liter when this isn't running in our building. We have a demo set up right here where this fan is on maximum working pressure. You can see it's sitting flat on this conference table. It is not moving much air whatsoever. So after 48 hours, this light turned red. So there are cases where the fan is moving close to no air, right? It's moving a little bit, a few CFM you can hear, and I've got this clipboard on top because it's just quite loud. There's scenarios where it's called maximum working pressure for a reason. This system could be working in theory a good percentage of the time, but we wanted to alert people for the fact that this might also mean that a bird built a nest in here, or a squirrel, or an animal, or there's construction debris from inside the suction pit that got pulled up into the fan, right? It's a pipe blockage. And there's really no way to differentiate between pipe blockage and maximum working pressure. So we built in this alarm. To bypass the maximum suction alarm, and this is all in our user manual online, you can read it, you wait the initial 48 hours, because that's the 48-hour calibration period. This light will turn red. You'll confirm at the YouTube that the radon fan on 4-inch PVC is reading upwards of 1.7 inches on the water column. That's a dead giveaway that you're at maximum working pressure if you understand the fan curve. Perform a radon test to make sure that the system is actually doing its job. So make sure that the radon went down, and if you've confirmed all of that, what you do is you set the snooze to 72 hours. You press the snooze button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Immediately set it up to 12. Press it 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Now we hear that the system just turned off. We're going to wait 30 seconds. We're going to manually turn the box off for another 10 seconds. And then when we turn it back on, it's going to recalibrate. Now, I'm not going to turn it back on for the purposes of this video because it's real noisy. But this is all listed on our user manual, which is free for anyone to view. When this boots up, it's going to go into another 48-hour recalibration. It's going to remove that alarm state from the system, and it's going to calibrate as that's the new normal for this box. So that is the most common alarm that we see that people have issue with. So I wanted to start off with that. But let's get into some of the other alarm states that people might see. So here we have our system that's literally running right now. It's at about 1.3 inches of water column pressure, so it's not at maximum working pressure. You can see here it's calibrated, it's green, everything's fine, it's working just fine. Now, let's say this is a crawl space system and you store your Christmas decorations down in your crawl space, right? If you go down there to grab them, you might, you gotta snooze this one because I turned the fan off. That's another alarm state. When the fan has lost power, it's literally unplugged. We have 3 days of battery backup. So this fan has lost power, it's alarmed to the fact that it's lost power. I'm going to snooze this. Let's say it was 3 in the morning, right? I don't want this to go off at 3 in the morning every day, so we set 3 distinct snooze times. I'm gonna snooze it for 3 in the morning. That's 12 hours. Now it's gonna go off at 3 in the afternoon. That's gonna give me time tomorrow to call a professional radon mitigator to work on this system. And then tomorrow, if it goes off again at 3 because the guy's booked out a few days, I'm gonna snooze it for 3 days. But we don't want this going off at 3 in the morning every damn day. That's why we give you the options. Use that toggle switch. So back to this scenario. We've got, Dad goes down to get Christmas lights in the crawl space. As he's down there moving boxes around, he doesn't notice, but one of the boxes rips a 6-foot long gash in the crawl space vapor barrier. That's gonna cause your pressure to drop really significantly, really quickly. So I'm gonna simulate that. Here's our pressure drop. This is an Obar alarm, another fantastic alarm, battery powered. It beeps immediately. We don't necessarily want that every time because again, it could be 3 in the morning. So I'm gonna snooze that guy. Here's our system. Check system indicator immediately, right? So if you're a homeowner, a lot of homeowners don't know how to read this YouTube. The YouTube dropped to 0. If you watch my other videos, you can see level lines. This is your only bad reading on YouTube, and it looks like we went a little bit out of whack. When the lines are level and it's at 0, oh no, it wasn't out of whack. It was just very, very low. That's a bad YouTube reading because it means you're moving a ton of air or you're moving hardly any air. This air is not coming from the right place. So I'm gonna snooze the Obar again so I can fix this. Again, our system is still just reading red and it'll start alerting you after a couple hours, but we don't want to interrupt your sleep for what could be a temporary issue. Some other stuff that could cause this suction loss, and one of the reasons why we don't have this immediately sound is because you could have a really powerful windstorm. Let's say you live on a walkout basement and you've got really porous soils. Even a light breeze can send tens of CFM into your home, right? And I've heard of a lot of situations where wind can overpower radon systems. These fans move anywhere from 0 to 500 cubic feet air per minute. This fan in particular, 0 to about 330. And if you get a breeze blowing in the size of a football field against your property into your home, you can quickly get into the hundreds or even thousands of CFM. And that'll change your manometer reading, right? That'll go, woo, oh, your manometer's gonna drop. Your suction is gonna be lost. Well, do we want a windstorm at night to make you think your radon system isn't really working if it's just gonna be better in the morning? So it's gonna turn red just like that very same scenario. But it's not gonna start beeping at you until it's been a problem for several hours, right? Because this is a problem that we've heard with other alarms on the market is they immediately note pressure changes, but some of those pressure changes could be natural barometric pressure changes or wind changes or weather changes that aren't going to be permanent, and then they might not affect your long-term radon levels. And this entire point of the fan alarms is we want to protect homeowners from long-term high radon levels, which is typically the fan fails, right? Simulate that. Fan failure. Cord got cut. Maybe it got snipped by somebody out there with a weed whacker on the property, or somebody just walked by and happened to catch their coat on it. Obar alarm is going to alert you right away when something like that happens. Our system turns red, right? And it's going to start beeping after a little while. But that fan has no power. It's not working. We have a 3-day battery backup on this. You can pan right here. This one's been unplugged the whole half the video. It's gonna be red for several days, and it will start beeping so that you have time to figure out what the heck's going on. System's powering right back up. This is going to turn to green. We're in good shape, except, oh no, I unplugged the system because I'm hanging Christmas lights, right? Or I'm need to plug in a vacuum, and I'm doing a chore and I'm busy, and I just go, I just need an outlet, right? Obar alarm is going to alert you right away. Our alarm turns red right away, and then in my frenzy to clean before a big party, I'm down here, I'm moving stuff around, I unplugged it, I'm using the vacuum, I forget to plug it back in. Well, it's going to beep soon. It's going to start beeping at you, and it's going to let you know, hey, your radon system's turned off. So plug it back in. These are the most common alarm states that you're going to see. Other things that might affect your pressure, rain events, not just wind, but rain can cause huge issues with your radon system. Those are temporary events though. So you might see a red light, but when it starts beeping, that means it's been a problem for a significant period of time. You're going to want to start investigating. The first thing you want to investigate is your YouTube. You're going to want to look at the original working pressure on the system, because YouTubes don't tend to fluctuate too much over time. They will fluctuate, but not your long term. So if you see, okay, when this was installed, the mitigator wrote that the YouTube was at 1, but this thing's red, now the YouTube's at 0.25. 0.25 might be great for your neighbor's house down the street. That might be their normal working level, but your house says 1 is where it's at, and now it's at 0.25, something's wrong, right? Crawl space barrier ripped, pipe came loose, pipe cracked, coupler came loose on the fan. Something happened, and that pressure dropped significantly, so you need to investigate it. So again, the radon system alarms are there to alert you to a fan failure state or system failure state, which you can then remedy. So I want to go over one other thing that you might see. We've already went over the snooze features and how we built those for you as a consumer to protect your sleep and make sure that you're not being annoyed by this system and try and disable it permanently. Every once in a while, you'll get one of these suckers. It's usually new systems where these lights aren't on at all. They're just totally dead and you're figuring, what's going on? Well, that has to do with the fuse on our system. So we ship every KTA with the fuse. Right here, it comes in an envelope with the system and other instructions. When you open this up with a flathead screwdriver, there's a fuse inside. If you don't install that fuse particularly well, the fuse is basically connecting the battery to the rest of the power supply. That battery backup's 3 days. If you don't connect it well, you could see no lights, you could see a flashing pattern of lights, you could see different things. It's all outlined in our user manual. But if that fuse isn't installed correctly, you might see no lights because the battery might eventually die. We ship these with full batteries, but we don't have the fuse installed when we ship them because they'd start beeping. And if we have a UPS package beeping, we're gonna get a lot of phone calls, we're gonna get a lot of return packages. We don't want these beeping during transit. So that's the entire point of the fuse, is to connect that battery to the power loop, to keep the battery charged, to keep you protected for power failures, breaker failures, all sorts of things. Breakers can trip and cause power failures that you then need to investigate. It's not just unplugging the system. If that fuse pops. It's very rare that that fuse is actually going to break, but if it does, that would also cause an issue of no lights. So we've tried to think of everything. If we haven't thought of everything, and this video does not answer your questions, please, please, please reach out to us. You can reach out to us by phone, text, or email. We have a prolific document with questions and answers, and it's a living document, so we update it all the time. So you could save somebody from banging their head against the wall if you find a software bug in our system where you go, Brian, I think everything's working just fine, but this light is red and it's bugging the crap out of me. Let's discuss it so that we can get the software updated and we can get our user manual and FAQs updated. But that's everything I got. I want to thank you for buying the Cadillac of Radon systems, the KTA 2.0. We spent a lot of time and energy on this, and we really, truly believe it's the best in the industry. So give it a shot. Let us know your thoughts. And thanks for buying family-owned and supporting U.S. manufacturing.